right. You've been waiting for us to now. Here we are, and things are gonna get freaking hot tonight. So can you feel that jazz? Oh, that beautiful ballet. How about the nerve? Oh, ladies and rock and roll. Bring it all to you. And guess what you signed up for? The awesome jazz if you don't need playing pretty tunes. Still pouring back to nowhere, coming for the whole year. You know you wanna be a lovely show that's gonna change your world. Let's rock.
Here's another one.
Well then, good morning everyone, and welcome. You know the name? The name is Douglas, and today, well, you don't know the schedule, so that's the only thing I have going on for me right now. Today I'm gonna be doing some random art stuff. I don't know why, but the creative juices are not flowing that much. So I have no idea what to do today. Also, yesterday I didn't plan anything ahead of time, so I have no content to show you to you guys and still hold up a straight face and say I know what I'm doing. So today I'm just gonna have fun, draw some things, see what I can get done, and try my best to have fun. Also, hello there, Nekio. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? How are you doing in this delicious Tuesday morning, which is the day that is today? Hopefully you're doing good. And actually, you said that nightmares are killing you. How so? What are you getting nightmares about? Hopefully nothing too bad. Actually, it should be this one. Leave those things up there. Except that. Oh boy. Which one is this? There we go. Shouldn't even be in there. Do we need that? Yes, we do need that. That's the Streamlabs thing with the current stream boss. Gotta have that going on. This was a thing too. I think it was. Is it there? Oh boy. Okay. There we go. I had completely screwed up this whole showing up thing. Don't know why. Don't know when. Nekus, you're doing fine otherwise and you don't want to talk about it here, but later you can explain if you want. It's not so much as if I want, it's more so that if you want to talk about them later on. I mean, I don't know if it is something concerning, something that... Oh, you do, but later. Okay then. Catch. Later we'll do the talkies then. So as for me, I did not have any nightmares. I just had an okay night of sleep, as far as it goes. I just feel like I underslept a little bit, and I kept waking up due to pains and stuff. Which isn't so very fun. You know, waking up in the middle of the night, realizing you're in pain, and then trying to get to a certain position where it doesn't hurt, but you can't very well find a position that doesn't hurt, so you keep hurting and stuff, and it's not very fun. And Kaze says, "Hey, I am here and actually gonna stay." Oh my dog. Hello there, Kaze. What a pseudo miracle it is that you have decided to, well, that you have been able, rather, to show up and stay for some time. How have you been doing? How has life been treating you? Hopefully good. I would hope that life is treating you good. And Shadow says, "Random you has joined the stream. Persona Music." Yes, it is. Of course it is. Normally I play my royalty-free stuff, but today I want to feel inspired. So I'm playing inspiring music. And by inspiring music, I don't mean only music that is inspiring in some way, but rather music that I have listened to during many occasions in my life, so whenever I hear it again, I remember of those past occasions where I did all sorts of stuff. For example, I did a lot of Call Me Yours pages while listening to this music, so when I listen back to it again, I remember of me working on those pages, and I can kinda remember what I was feeling back then, art-wise. So it helps me get in the mood and get inspired and think, well, I already did so many cool, great stuff with this. So the feeling kind of carries around a little bit. Not a whole lot, mind you, just a little bit. Because I say, oh, kinda, well, as perusal. And you have been focusing on practicing drawing on paper. How has that been going for you? I will never stop stressing this enough. I adore drawing on paper, not so much a fan of drawing digitally. I much prefer drawing on paper. The drawing on paper is like impossible to stream unless you have a very good equipment. Like a decent camera and the desktop space that allows you to show off what you're drawing without getting in the way of the drawing. And those are hard to come by. And Nick, you said you will never see it coming. Yes, indeed, I never saw it coming. Except that that's a lie. I saw it coming from a mile away. Which is an expression that we use, but it doesn't make sense because I don't use mile as a measuring system. So it's more of an expression than an actual literal feeling that I have, saying that I saw it coming from a mile away. And Shadow, you say Ben focusing on sleeping, but here to watch Doug's secret techniques. There's no secret techniques to be had. I'm just gonna do something random here. In fact, I was doing something random, but I guess I'm just doing my random is very default-ish. But time to try and get a little crazy with this. And Kaza says, as you've seen, it's going pretty good. Though hands and anatomy are so painful. More or less. Everything really is painful to learn how to do. Because, you know, it's possibly something you have been neglecting in your practices. So it will be incredibly hard to do unless you practice that almost endlessly. So get to that. Get to drawing and practicing and doing stuff. But it shouldn't be too impossible either, because after doing that for a while, you kind of get the hang, and it's not only do you get the hang, but you also realize some hidden techniques should do that a little bit better. And I say that they are hidden techniques. Wow, this year is so off. I say that they are hidden techniques because it's something that kinda only works for you. It's something that I don't know, just clicks in your mind, and you realize, oh, I can do it this and that way, and that works for me marvelously. But if you try to teach that method to someone else, either you're gonna have a rough time explaining, the other person's gonna have a rough time understanding, and you will notice that it doesn't work as well for them. Also because they don't have the same amount of practice and expertise as you do. But anywho. Also, hello there, Spike here. Wolf morning. Wow, so early in the morning even. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Today we're doing random stuff. Today is not a gaming day. Today is a day to get creative juices flowing and get some art going. Although I don't have anything in mind to do, I'm just doing a random warm-up sketch of a dog person, as I always do, because that's the coolest thing I draw. I like drawing, and it's also something I end up drawing so frequently in my comics. Might as well put on some practice on that. On the dog faces. Kaze, the sound request isn't on. I have decided to relinquish that system. So now you're gonna be forced to hear to the same music I am listening to. Yeah. Of course, you can always suggest songs, but yeah, the changing of the song is still on me. Shadow says Doug could give us a tutorial. I could, but I won't. I totally could, but I won't. And Spiker said, Doug, question. Why use Clip Studio Paint EX and not Photoshop, for instance? So, it boils down to personal preference at this point. I have used Photoshop in the past, but I have had issues with it. First, it's incredibly expensive, but then again, when you're a young artist boy roaming on the internet, something being expensive or not has never been an impediment, if you know what I mean. But as time went by, I found out that Photoshop had a lot of little kinks and things that I didn't very much enjoy about it. It was too complex a program. Not that I wasn't able to use it. It's just that there was so much going on that I didn't need it to be going on. And other than that, Photoshop ever since ever have had this problem of random crashes and whatever. I guess it's because it's such a bloated software, it crashes randomly, and I have lost many drawings because of Photoshop randomly crashing. So I decided to start using Sai, Paint Tool Sai, which is another drawing program. Very good. And the biggest reason really I started using Sai is that way back when I had a drawing tablet, my first drawing tablet, and the pen, it had one tip of the pen is like the drawing tip, the back end is the eraser. My pen, I don't remember how exactly, but it broke just the front end, so I wasn't able to use the front tip anymore. I was just able to use the back side to draw. And as it happens, the back side being supposed to be the eraser, most programs recognize it as an eraser. So if I tried to flip it, it wasn't able to do anything. And unless I got like really creative to go and do drawings with the eraser, which wasn't the case. And then I found Sai, and it's such a basic program that it didn't even recognize the back end of the pen as the eraser. So I started using the back end of the pen as the new tip, and kept on using Sai. And I used it for years until one day Sai decided to fuck up on me because it didn't work that well. And then I had to replace Sai with something else, and it was either go to Photoshop or look for something else around it. I heard a lot of comic book artists, like professional artists of the industry, they use Clip Studio for drawing. And I gave it a try and I actually liked it. It's good, it has all the functions I need, it doesn't have anything too extra. And it's amazing, I like it very much. And it was like cheap as hell. It goes on sales just as much as Steam does. And I was able to like buy the professional version, the EX version, that normally costs like 200 and something bucks, for 50 bucks. And yeah, so at any point I could have gone and changed to Photoshop, but I like Clip Studio because it's simple, it's lightweight, and since I'm a scrub and I don't know how to manage resources, I like opening tabs and shit. And I'm not the most patient person when it comes to you know, computers and stuff. So I want a program that is responsive and that I can go overboard with sizes. So in Clip Studio I can use this canvas that is like 6,000 pixels wide by 4,500 pixels tall, and it works perfectly. It's not lagging. I can throwing shit tons of layers in here and it keeps working perfectly fine, even when I'm streaming. Whereas Photoshop would have started coughing up and underperforming, I think. So that's why I use Clip Studio. It's more of a personal preference. I'm more used to the tools in here, to how this brush engine works, and to where things are placed and everything else. So it works best for me. Even though I hear people saying that, you know, Photoshop is amazing for painting, but I don't do a whole lot of painting really. The way I color my drawings is a digital art technique of throwing flat colors and then throwing more layers on top of that and throwing effects on those layers. So when you color like that, it's not really painting, and if it's not really painting, you just need to know what you're doing and not necessarily how to use brushes, which is Photoshop's biggest selling point. Is that, oh, our brushes works better than our competitors' brushes. And because I say, for now I think I got really good with eyes and mouths, ears and noses kinda, and human quote unquote. You have been doing them anime eyes and manga faces, haven't you, Kazi? Nothing wrong with it, just inquiring. And also, hello there, Husky Hus. Good morning to you and welcome to the stream. It has been forever since I have last seen you in here. How's it going? In Kaza, you assume someone did something cringy with song request. Well, that they did. They will always do. But it was more so because, you know, theoretically, you shouldn't be streaming stuff with copyrighted songs, but that's not a huge impediment at all. It's just that I end up doing so many art stuff, and when I upload my videos to YouTube, they all get muted. So there's a lot of stuff I have been doing art, and I have been talking about like techniques and stuff I do to get inspired, stuff I do to get back in the game and stuff. Real helpful tips, and then when you see the video playback afterwards, it's muted because it was music playing. So to avoid that kind of issue in the future, I'm not gonna play copyrighted songs during my art streams. And during normal streams, there's normally a game going on, so that won't happen as well. And Kaza, you're starting to hate drawing furries. Oh no. Mainly because you don't think you like the non-realistic style to it. Kinda like the kimono no style, or however you call it. And yeah, that is a weird style to pursue if you wanna do furries or intro animals. You shouldn't. Well, not to say that you shouldn't, but I don't think that the Japanese have kind of calmed down into a single universal style. So in the Western civilizations, there has been like cartoons going over for decades. So you have Bugs Bunny, you have the Looney Tunes, you also have the Disney crew, I guess. And all those people have been drawing animals forever, and people grew up thinking of, I gotta draw more animal stuff, and they keep researching styles. They have the realistic style, so the Western civilizations are really far ahead in their animal game. They have this kind of unified notion of what to do and what not to do, and how to go about it. Whereas the Eastern civilizations that do draw animals, either they go through the totally realistic way of drawing animals, or they think, maybe I'm gonna follow up on this manga I have been drawing for my entire life, this manga style, and try to put some animal features here and there. So you always end up with like those half-assed attempts, which is like humans with animal ears and tails. But you know, if you wanna get into drawing furries, or rather antro creatures, you should study a little bit more of the Western styles. And Kazu says styles like yours are what I need to learn. And Spiker said fair enough. Also, Husky Hus, thank you so very much for those for those delicious beats. I'm gonna put them in my beat coffers, and in the end of the month, or rather at the end of the year, I'm gonna break my bits coffer, take out all of the bits, turn it into currency that is usable in the real world, and I'm gonna buy something real special. Thank you very much. Spiker, you said that you have been using Photoshop for 16 years now. You think it shines best when actually using it for actual photo editing? Oh my dog, yes. Because you're actually editing the photo with tools. All the other programs are like more geared towards drawing stuff than editing stuff that you already have. And Spiker, you are more of a collage artist anyways, manipulating existing stuff and adding drawings as a last step. If necessary even. Might not even be a necessity. You think YouTube is still worth the effort? I feel the platform is dying and real hostile to its creators. I don't think it's worth all that effort, really. It's just that YouTube is like... Twitch doesn't keep your videos forever, and YouTube kinda does. And it's so, you kinda just go to Twitch and click the export to YouTube button, and there you go, you have your video exported. And I'm not like planning to make YouTube a big thing. YouTube is like big for gaming, but not so much for anything else. What I want to do really is just have a reliable way that people can find my previous streams and resources if they need or want. But other than that, I really don't think it's that good anymore. Also, just a second, I'm gonna turn down my fan and get me a thingy here. Just a second. I noticed I was gonna say ventilator, because that's what we would call it here, but I don't think you guys would call a fan a ventilator, so it would have been weird. Nonetheless. Yeah, Spiker, continuing on the Photoshop subject, I like Photoshop. It's the first picture editing program I ever used. I really like how good it is at editing stuff, how many functions it has, and how easy it gets sometimes. I really think it shines. I just don't like using it personally because of all the issues I have had during the years, and that I'll possibly keep having, because I don't know why it just kind of doesn't agree so much with me. But Photoshop was the first photo editing / drawing program I ever used. It was where I learned almost all of the things all the bases I know for doing digital art. So I'm really happy for Photoshop, and I really like it. I just wouldn't use it on my day-to-day stuff. But if if the apocalypse comes by and Photoshop wins the illustration wars and becomes and develops a monopoly on picture editing software stuff, I guess, I don't know even what I'm talking about. But if Photoshop was my only alternative, I wouldn't use it. I would just be more careful about how I go about doing things. I would save much more constantly, knowing that there's a chance it will crash within minutes. So this thing I did here, most of the time it doesn't work when you want to kind of rotates someone's his head down, it doesn't ever works because you're rotating in the angle you can see, and the angle you try to rotate is an angle that you cannot see because this is a 2D picture, so you have to go back and edit, reposition a lot of stuff to make it that so it starts making sense again with the rotation you did. Which normally involves like rotating other stuff in the character's head, like the stuff that is further back will probably be at a lower height than the stuff that is up front, and you gotta go back and rotate all of those things individually. So when dealing with this sort of rotations, most of the time it's easier, it's less work to just go and redraw the whole thing. Sometimes also moving stuff around is good because you can get a good basis and then you start redrawing stuff. Most of the time it's not worth just rotating things and keeping it as it is. You will have to put on some extra work to make it make sense. And Spiker, we call a fan a ventilator too. Oh, that's good to know. I guess that even in English they would call fans ventilators as well. They just don't do it because fan has kind of become a new word that everyone uses. And apparently that's how language works. No matter what the definition of a word is, a word or a term means what 3/4 of the population agrees that it does. And Shadow says, how dare you not give me cookies, and what happened? About the cookies thing, I will not give you cookies because I don't have any which to give. And secondly, because you have been asking me for cookies forever, and I always say the same thing. I say that I don't have cookies and I won't give you cookies, and yet you keep asking me for cookies, so I am sorry, but I will have to let you know that persistence is not gonna work for you in this case. And Spiker says, yeah, it took you a while to find a stable version of Photoshop 2. You are still using CS6. You will not upgrade or use another one until you are forced to. Oh boy. I think I have Photoshop CS5 going on in here. And I don't even remember if it's the CS. Maybe it isn't. Because they used to go with CS and then they decided, you know what, now we're gonna do numbers, years, and then they started doing years. Yeah, the Photoshop I have is the CC 2015. The creative content? Creative something? I forgot what the CC is for. I know the CS was for creative suite, but CC is... I don't remember. But one of those words I'm sure is creative or creator or something. Creative collection maybe. If there's one thing Photoshop knows how to do is rebrand things. Or rather, Adobe. Yeah, for making collages and stuff, Photoshop is so much better than Clip Studio, or rather than any other program that I have ever used. Every now and then I also kind of say, hey, I want to do this thing, but I don't know how to do this thing in Clip Studio, so you know what, I'm gonna boot up the Photoshop real quick, and then I go to Photoshop and try to do the thing I wanted to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When I say it doesn't, it's because something else happens and it just decides it isn't gonna work anymore. This one time I tried to get some a small piece of pixel art going on, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but every time I did a very specific set of a very specific sequence of actions, Photoshop would crash. I guess that it was if I tried to move the object after having zoomed in or out, or after moving an object trying to zoom in too close would crash it, and that's just ridiculous for a program to be crashing because of that. Oh boy, this hand here is at such an odd angle. Oh boy, let's see how this goes. And Spiker said that pixel art is great, but there is now specialized software for it. Actually, you might look into that. You used to do 3-panel pixel art comics. Oh, really? I find that hard to see how would you go and use pixel art in a comic manner? I mean, it isn't impossible, but now I'm curious. Alright, I'm certainly kinda grasping at straws there. Let's try and use actual anatomy knowledge to do this. So this is the wrist. This is where we get our hand pivot going on. So I'm gonna move this line a little bit further out. Make this arm less thick. So let's go draw hands object orientated. We're gonna have a bottle in here from which they are serving beverages. Let's go with that. It doesn't have any object like this works. But it is also in such a weird angle that you're seeing the bottle almost from the front. I definitely picked the worst angle for this, but well, at least I get to have a little challenge. Up, there we go. Spiker, you said that pixel art is just a style, in your opinion. Yeah, it actually is. It just takes a different set of skills and knowledges to get going. Especially depending on the style of pixel art you want to do, because some pixel art are like ridiculously small and you... Well, not only small, but they are also animated, and you gotta really know how animation works and how to translate that into such a limited array of pixels and frames per second. There's this guy from my hometown that is real popular on Twitter and Patreon too, I guess, who posts almost weekly a pixel art tutorial. I forget his name and I won't remember, but he posts a lot of art tutorials on Twitter on how to pixel art. And he has like real good content. There's a lot of things there that you can use in and out of pixel art. But pixel art wise, that guy is a genius. He's a magician pretty much. He's a wizard of pixel art scene. So Kaze, tell me, are you practicing your drawings from somewhere specifically, or have you decided to kind of just go nuts, just take just kind of try and figure out stuff instead of following some sort of guidance or tutorial? Alright, this bottle is complicated AF to go and do. This is a thing I was thinking about the other day too. How fun it would be to just kinda draw characters holding objects in a non-conventional manner. Like, that is an amazing way to practice hands. Kinda like do ordinary people holding ordinary things, like this guy or this girl holding their phone, holding a cup of coffee, holding a fork and a knife as they're gonna go to have dinner or whatever. But instead of having them holding it like normal persons, have them hold it doing kind of JoJo poses with their hands. And try to get really, really weird with it. See how far you can stretch the poses and also throw in some real anatomy practice in there. In this case here, I'm not even gonna bother trying to do that because this angle is weird enough. They're just doing a regular handhold. It's already it's already weird enough. It looked good when I was seeing from this side, but when I turned it around, it stopped looking good and started looking like, why? I've just been allowed to exist. And Ekyu says the Persona remixes are on point. Are they really? Some of them I enjoy less than others. But I guess it kinda work. In any case, Kaze, as I was going to, what I was gonna say on my little inquiry, is that you said you drew for intro characters and stuff you need a style that is good, and then you said I need to find a style that's like yours, and you are probably very familiar with Blotch, who used to be a group of two girls who used to do intro animations, but they have since separated and gone their individual ways, doing furry porn individually now. Go figure. They have a really amazing realistic-ish style that is not 100% realistic. Like body-wise, the amount of realism that there is in the bodies is top-notch. It's surprising almost, but the amount of realism that goes into their faces is a little bit more lax. Faces wise, they use more cartoonish features to really get the characters to be expressive. Or as far as the bodies are concerned, for the bodies they go all out on anatomy. Like, sure, let's make this as lifelike as possible, but on the faces they sacrifice realism to make the characters more expressive, more charismatic, and it works for that what they do. However, there's another artist called Rookies who decided to go the other way around. Not really. They do okay-ish bodies, very good bodies, very good anatomy, but they decided to go with like animal features all the way. So the faces of each and every character are very animal-like. That's so every character looks kinda samey because they don't have a whole lot of personality going on with them. They all have the same facial features that you would expect in an animal, but they don't have stuff like hair styles, they don't have beards, they don't have glasses and stuff. So Rookies, she really plays around with mixing up species. So hardly ever you will see her comic many characters of the same species. You will see characters from as many varying species as possible, because if you have two characters of the same species right next to one another, you will not be able to tell who is who, especially if it's on black-white. So those are two takes on anatomy and realism that kinda inspired me. Seeing how Rookies does it is like, it's interesting because you get to see like, wow, this is a masterclass of anatomy, of animal anatomy. You see that they really pulled every feature that you would find in any book about animals. You would see the illustrations, or you would see pictures of animals and you see, oh, well, this is a 1-for-1 copy. It's exactly how it goes. But for the medium that is comics and storytelling, it doesn't help that much when your characters are not expressive. So I'm really appreciative of how Blotch kinda decided to say, well, you know what, fuck it. Let's give them like a long snout and some animal features, but let's still keep them expressive. They used to do like really big eyes and smiles that stretched more than they kinda should. In the end, it worked. So you have to do that, because you have to find those sorts of inspirations and those sort of artists who you can use as reference. People that draw the things you want to draw and in a style that you want to draw, and kind of study their style. That's what I used to do. I used to take pictures of them and trace over to understand how those lines connected, how the anatomy worked, and when you trace over, you get a feeling that you don't get just from looking. You actually get to feel. It's kind of, it might feel nonsensical to be talking about this, but you get to feel the curves that each part of the body does. You get to feel like the shapes a little bit better as well. So it's helpful to do that. And Kaza, you just go with what you feel like doing. Following things is not your thing, apparently. You're afraid not. And also, hello there, Knowles. Wolf morning, and welcome to the stream. How are you doing this delicious Tuesday? But yeah, Kazi, I also don't have a whole lot of patience for tutorials and whatnot. I'm more of a hands-on kind of guy. If I have to sit down and watch a 2-hour tutorial on how anatomy works, and this is anatomy, watch it. I'm already gonna feel so disencouraged from having to watch the video that I'll probably learn even less if I do force myself to go through with it. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this layer here with these characters. Now there's 2 of them. Now I'm gonna redraw this hand here that is holding the cup and try to do something unique with this pose. Like I said, holding everyday objects in weird poses and manners. And also get his face a little bit more expressive too. And Kazuya said, yes, many manga artists, encourage tracing for practicing aesthetic purposes. Yeah. Find an artist whose work and style you really admire and wanna get to understand a little bit better, and go nuts with the tracing. Just remember that, theoretically tracing is a douchey thing to do. In the sense that if you trace over something and post it saying that it's yours, then yeah, that's a very douchey thing to do. But tracing for study and practice purposes is a-okay. Encouraged even. And there we go. Now this guy here, albeit he looks a little bit kinda crazy, but also looks so very much more charismatic, and I don't know the word that I'm looking for. What I mean to say is that his expression makes him look more lively and more he's expressing his feelings so much better than before. So you kinda almost can really tell and see what's going on this guy's mind here. As opposed to if you were to really go full blown on the animal anatomy and make it lifelike, you would hardly be able to tell what's going on in this guy's mind. And of course, this is not realistic in any sense, but that's the creative liberties we take with the making of art and comics or in whatever. Conveying certain information is more important than getting an anatomical accuracy going on. Well, now I just realized too that if you without this other hand, this face kind of feels kind of weird. Like if you imagine that there's a table going on in here and you can't see the rest of his hand, you're gonna be like, "Welp, there's something going on." But anyway, so I think that one not so very usual way to hold a cup is holding like from the bottom. Like holding with your just the tip of your fingers on the bottom rim of the glass cup. So I guess it would go like with the thumb outwards. The palm is a little bit further back. Alright, let's give this a little bit more thought. But not too much thought, we just wanna do a little warm-up random sketch, that is all. And no, they're very tired, it's suddenly really hot over there. Oh, maybe it's because it got really cold over here. Maybe you switched weathers, which I'm more than down with. And Kaze says, what sketchbooks do you use? I bought a Visual Journal one. What do you mean by that, Kaze? You mean like physical paper sketchbooks? Or do you mean a book on drawing those stuff? Oh, you mean brand? So you see, there's this company here that they make paper for printers for office purposes, and they sell this pack with like 500 sheets of A4 paper or office size paper, I guess, and it's really cheap. It's like $5. You buy this bulk with 500 pages. It's amazing for printers and stuff, and I use them for drawing. I just pick a bunch of loose sheets of paper, tuck it in my drawing pad, and there you go. And then I'm ready to take on the world. I have many times thought about getting like fancy brands sketchbooks and whatnot, but in the end I didn't really use sketchbooks that much. When I do actually draw stuff on paper, it's more sketches and ideas, concepts, than an actual final art I want to keep and want to show to the world. So it doesn't matter too much to me what sort of paper I use. So if you're looking for brands and stuff, I won't be able to give a whole lot of help on that matter. Also, I changed my mind. I want the hands holding the cup from the upper side, but kind of in a different way. I just realized that they can be holding kinda the same way, but from the upper side. on the top rim instead of the on the bottom rim. Maybe I also go and rotate a little bit this cup. That's so I can barely see the I barely see the top rim of the cup with his hand in the way, but you will be able to see the other side of the cup, and you'll be able to see that his thumb kind of sticks there a little bit. And Noel says, yeah, even though you used to help your friend improve her art, you feel bad regardless when you use her art style she's adopted to try and improve mine. What do you mean? Why would you feel bad about that? And Spiker says, really, I would say tracing would not teach you anything. I feel you are much better off trying to replicate by eye and grow that skill. Kinda. I mean, it works differently for people. For me, tracing over stuff really helps much more than trying to trace stuff by eye. Because I don't know why, I just suck horribly with proportions. Whenever I try to draw something by eye, I always fuck up the proportions, like, tremendously. So if I see something going on and I try to replicate it by eye, I will totally 100% fuck up the proportions. I will do one bit bigger or smaller than the other, and in the end it's not gonna look good. So when I'm tracing, I don't just trace the art itself. I trace I do the tracing of the art of someone else to understand what they're doing. But I also say, for example, that this drawing here just did. Say I want to trace it. It's someone else's drawing and I want to trace it. So what I would go and do is try not to trace it per se. I would try to find bigger chunks of it, like this is the upper, the chest, the upper torso. This is the arm socket. This is the other arm socket. This is the length of this arm. This is the length of this arm. Then this is how that arm goes. I would find kind of like blocks for the hands, try and figure out how the artist realized those things. Like, this is the socket for the hand, and this is the palm as a little block thing, and this would be the body that they also did. I guess at the neck they decided that it comes from this place here, and for the head they kind of make it this size wise. And I don't trace it. I don't trace everything. I just trace like the basic points. Like, this is the size of the eyes, and this is the size of the muzzle of the character. And then when I take out the actual drawing and just look at the little tracings that I did, I get a much better idea of what's going on. Like, now I see it. So in the big picture, the eyes are this much percent of this of the face. Either they're very big or they're very small, or the size of the mouth and snout are that big or that small compared to the whole face. The way that they do like details on the side of the face as well, if they kind of go crazy with fur, if they kind of do something more concise and more linear like I do, or if they just like do little strokes and say this is the fur of the corner of the face. And those things that I try to look for. And of course, yeah, like you said, those things I can just try to replicate by eye, but going up there in the art and tracing those things, I don't know why exactly, it just gives you a better understanding of what's going on. In my case, other people, they are much better at copying things from eye. Other people not so much. Other people are really lousy at trying to copy anything, be it by eye or be it by tracing. And no says also, yeah, Spike's right, anyone can follow lines unless you're tracing something to recolor it. And Yelenovsky, hello there, welcome to the stream. How are you doing this delicious Tuesday morning? Also, hello Marcus, moi moi to you. And to you too, Salus and Oni. Well, everyone just decided to show up right now. How's you all going? Welcome to the stream. Today I'm not doing anything important, I'm just doing random art. Welcome. And also, Marcus, to answer your question, I'm doing quite good. Not good enough that I know exactly what to do. I was saying yesterday that today I was gonna do more game dev stuff. Work on the game that I have going on. But I was thinking about it and I don't have much to do. Like, just show up and start doing. What I have to do is write more of the script. And I guess you guys would be bored out of your minds just watching a big, well, just watching me type document pretty much. Elsewise, there would be also trying to figure out more Unity stuff, but you guys would also grow bored by watching me fumble with Unity and try to figure out how to add functions and stuff. I think. And other than that, the only other thing I could do was art. But I didn't really know where to go with art, so I decided to just do random art, trying to get myself pumped up for doing art as a general thing, not just for the game thing. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. The weather has finally started to chill down a bit. There has been some rain, and things are looking up. I finally feel I finally feel like living again. Now that the heat is gone, or rather that it has subsided for a little while. And now, as I said, you wouldn't say trace by eye. I think you should try and draw something that resembles another piece rather than try and be a replica. Then just improve from there. Yeah, I don't mean like 100% trace the thing. Just trace the parts that you find interesting or important. And then after you're done tracing those important bits and pieces, you can try and trace other things, like you can kind of try and infer what is the pose, and use other pictures more so as reference than a basis from which to copy. Which also brings a very good point. It's always good to have like a shitload of references open up around when you're working. So I don't know how to draw liquid, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna have it pouring out of there. So pretend that there's liquid action going on in there. This delicious bottle of liquids and spirits and stuff. And how's it going with you, Sailors? You and that delicious Shia emote. And Oni, you are alive, that's something. Welcome to the stream, Oni. How was your night, by the way? You got us very worried last night. Hope it didn't get too crazy. Spiker, you said I just think you see too much quote-unquote art out there that is completely traced. You can always tell from the thickness of the lines used, they look unnatural. Yeah, there are people out there who are not concerned at all with making things original. So in that case, like, they really need a change in attitude. But for other people, just trying to trace, but also keeping it real, being like, I'm not trace this. Should try and rack up some quick points on the internet. I'm tracing this because I'm tracing this as some sort of study, as some sort of self-improvement stuff. And I'm not gonna post it around, I'm just gonna keep it for me, for personal studies and shit. Then you're in a good way. So maybe I can do something even crazier here. Let me see. How well can I do this? Bend backwards rather, his torso, then bend forward his head. Get some really weird body poses going on. Kinda trying to stretch the limit of how well I can bend it. I can bend and shift this anatomy before it gets too whack to work with. And Shadow, you said Doug is a good boy, yeah? And Marcus says, well spoken, you're moing moing. Simple for a German Shepherd to talk low German. Oh man. Oh, thank you nonetheless. That's the only thing I can say in German. Is moing moing, and that's because apparently you say it like you would normally. And Sailor says, heat is the worst. I hope this year's summer won't be like last year's. Not like last year's summer, where everything burned and people died. And Nani says, yes, there is a thing going on about traced art, especially of some artists kink-shaming some artists by fixing the art. Really? Oh boy, I must be really out of touch then. I did not know about that. Because it says trace the structure, so to say. Yeah, pretty much. Trace the structure, not and the important bits that matter to you, not the whole thing. And then it says, like, the artist find the Super Chub drawing of some Mobius character from the Sonic Feminine and just removes the Super Chub to keep the big breasts. What? And you're fine, your Joyride was and comfort food grab was just okay, but ended in a small bust. The food was a good thing though. But the Joyride was a mess. Couldn't speed through the highway cause your car messed up and caused tons of smoke and was pulled over. Yeah, that part I saw, but other than that, I hope nothing else was too bad. And also, hello there, Aichi. I don't know how to say her name. You said, Privyet comrade. Sure, hello, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Because it says, things I wish I can do on paper, move stuff and Ctrl Z. No. Just no, Kaze. Try and draw things with a pen instead of using a pencil. When you draw things with a pencil, you get so used to the fact that if you fuck up, you can erase, that you use that as a crutch, and you kind of end up not worrying too much about getting lines perfect than just putting something down. So try and draw things with a pen from now on. Get a pen of any color or kind and just start drawing. Go nuts with it. And AC, you said it's pronounced like AC. Oh, I see. Now it makes a little bit more sense. And Shadow says, "Lol, that's why I like doing digital." I don't know. I don't like doing digital art that much. I find it very what's the term? I find that doing digital, you get so worked up on these shortcuts you can do. You can, if things go wrong and awry, you can always move things around. You can Control Z. You can do all sorts of stuff that you normally wouldn't do on paper. And you get so used to those things that kind of breaks your sense of well, it certainly does something to your perception of art, and not good somethings. I would say that drawing on paper is a good thing because eventually on the paper you're gonna get to a point where the paper gets completely trashed after you draw and erase and draw and erase, and eventually the paper is not gonna do so good. There's gonna be a whole lot of tear that it can't very well handle. So drawing on paper teaches you also about not putting too much pressure into the paper, and when you don't do that, when you draw with a light hand, you also get a better control of the lines. You understand a little bit better what you're doing. I find that working on paper is, you also get a closer connection to your drawing. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I'm a sucker for drawing on paper and traditional art. Some people really gets their rocks off by doing digital stuff, but that's not me. So we don't have enough room for drawing the legs. I don't think we need. I guess we made a drawing and we kept editing stuff to it until it became something much different than what it started as. So this is the new thing we have, and this is the old thing we had. Not a whole lot has been changed, but it feels so much more alive now as a drawing, as a piece of art. At this point, this guy's not even concerned about hitting the cup. Is like, fuck it. I just want to look cool for the kids out there. And Oni, you said that, but then your boyfriend talked to you and just vented out and told you to listen to Grace by Oh Yo after he talked to you after 2 hours over the phone. Oh boy. So you were really bad then yesterday. And Kaza says, yeah, the past 2 weeks I prefer sketching with a pen. And True Clean, you love the feel and texture on paper, the imperfections. Yeah, there's something magical about drawing on paper. And Shadow, you do enjoy drawing on paper, really think it's the best cause of the texture. And Spiker says digital art misses a little soul, I think. Tangible arts always win over digital if you ask me. And you say that as a digital artist. But of course. I don't know what it is, but drawing stuff on paper just has something that digital art will never be able to give you. Those tingles down the groin. It really gets you going. And then it says, even though I can't song request, I'll just share it here. What was it again? Grace by Ohio. Is it? Yes, it is. I'll have it open here, and I'll get you it later on. Thanks for the recommendation anyway. So, Sailors, are you still there? Tell me if you are still alive and still with us here in the stream. But Doug, why are you asking for one of your viewers in particular? Well, let me tell you, my little inquisitive friend. I have some commissions that I gotta do, and one such commissioner is Sailors, and I wanna know whether or not I go working on this commission right here, right now, live on stream, or if they would rather keep it private and stuff. So yeah, I guess I just explained what was going on. Sailors, you're here, just grab the coffee. No worries, I should also go and grab me a refill of coffee before it burns. But yeah, I just want to know, do you have anything against me kinda using this time right now to work on that piece of art that I was doing for you? Or would you rather not share it with the world yet and keep it hidden from the sun and from everyone else's gaze until it's ready to be shown? This guy here, I guess he can have like human feet and a real stretched leg action going on. Instead of giving him digitigrade pole, we give him plantigrade feet. And a really, really weird pose. Let's just actually let's reduce its size just a little bit. Rotate this guy backwards, just a touch. Get this leg here, better position. There we go, now I have yet another K9 dude up to shenanigans. And you may ask, what the hell is going on with this picture, Doug? What the hell are you doing? Why? Explain to me this stuff. And I'm sorry, but I cannot explain to you stuff because I don't even know. This is what I did this stream, what I'm doing this stream for, to just draw random stuff and draw without the pressure. Well, the starter part at least, draw without the pressure of knowing that I have a goal to attain and a level of quality I should reach with this drawing and with this pose and this concept. But when you don't have any of that, you can just go and draw crazy random stuff until you're happy, then boy, do you end up with some crazy ideas going on. And Silas, you are here. And not at all, it would be awesome to see you doing Doyoung Eat Life. Oh, you better believe then that I will. And only you said I should hide everything. And Silas says, haha, that way your weird wishes can come into place before you put in the work and have to change it. That I will be doing. Also, hello there, Yuki dear. Wolf Morning, welcome to the stream, and thank you so very much for that host. How are you going? How are you doing in this day of the choice? Also, I think I bit my tongue accidentally. And AC said his toe is completely broken. And not really. I mean, I think you can do that with your feet. Your toes kind of go into weird positions if you kind of tiptoe around. But anyway, and Kaza, you say very Diwang only. And then you say, nah, it's multi-jointed. Your feet does that too. And Yuki dear, you're doing okay, just having some struggles. Oh man. What's going on with you, Yuki dear? Is that something you would like to talk about and share with us, or not really? And only you do it like that for Dance Rush Stardom. And I see you those can't do that. Oh boy. I'm not sure that everyone's those can do that, but I think most of the time they can. Anyway, real quick, just gonna grab me a cup of coffee, then gonna come back and give this guy some clothes, because by dog he cannot be naked. And then I'll finish up this drawing here real quick, post it on the Discord, and then we're gonna work on Silas's drawing. But beforehand, do you guys have any suggestions for what in the world should this guy here be wearing? What sort of clothes could he be putting on his up to cover up his fuzzy body? Let me know, and I'll get you it in a few minutes. And I'm back. So yesterday, we ended up ordering takeout, Chinese food, because reasons. But I didn't eat my, I did not eat my fortune cookies that came with it. So I opened one of them, and it says that a clean conscience is the best of armor. So, are you guys? Do your guys' consciences are clean? Hopefully it is. Um, and AC, you said Adidas tracksuit. Shadow says just an underwear. Kaza, you said bartender outfit. So it says bartender sounds Gucci you too. Oni says Stag Bucks barista uniform. AC then changed his mind and said just socks. Divination TV says real question is why do we need to cover him up? I don't know. But welcome to the stream. How's it going, Divination TV? Hopefully you're doing good. And AC says because we want a good boy, not a dirty boy. On stream, that is. And Shadow says cuz I'll assume Doug doesn't want to draw his dick. But Shadow, you shouldn't go about assuming that this boy is gonna have a dick. Maybe he has a vagina instead. You shouldn't assume those sort of stuff, Shadow. Oni says, AC, there's something unique with the human body. There's something in your body that can actually be double jointed and can bend 90 degrees or more. So you end up being an X-Man, and that's your superpower, is being able to bend your fingers more than 90 degrees. And Divination says he could be walking back to bed with a captain and someone there waiting, which is why he's licking his lips. And Shadow says shining box. Hell yes it is. Alright, let's throw in some random quotes. So, AC, you said an Adidas tracksuit. Let's throw that in. It's gonna have an Adidas tracksuit. I think that this is how it goes. It has actually 3 stripes, but fuck it. And I think they also have like jackets, don't they? Well, let's pretend that they do. And I don't know how the end here goes, so you're gonna get a low neck thing. So now he kinda looks like Kill Bill. But anyway, rather, I forgot her name, the bride from Kill Bill. She has a name, I know that I know it, I just can't remember it. For some reason I have Kid something in my head. Alright. And Sailor says, haha, my superpower is being super flexible, wink wink. Well, you know it, some people like it like that. And Kaza says, okay, gotta go to get some sleep now, maybe 2 hours, then work. Ciao. See you later, Kaze. Thanks for stopping by as well. It's been forever since we last seen you, and it might not look like it, but we do miss you, Kaze. But nonetheless, get a good night of rest, and we'll be seeing you later. Stay awesome, dude. And Sailor says Yuma Wolfo, and AC says, oh yeah, he's kinda chubby, to be honest. I don't know how to spell it. It's chubby with a CH. And not really, it's like his back is actually doing this. You just can't see the back of his back. His back, because his arm is in the way. But he's bending real hard in there. You just can't see it. And AC says he got a dead bod. Maybe I mean chubby. And Sailor says Douglas is a master of dead bodies. And Shadow says just found out the world assume it's not what I thought it was. What did you thought it was? Alright, so let's go back a little bit. Just a touch. Shadow says just an underwear. And Divination said, real question is why do we need to cover him up? You know, both of you have good points going on. So instead of having an Adidas tracksuit, we're gonna make him have a kinda an Adidas tracksuit chaps. So they're kinda open in the middle. Kinda like those cowboy outfits, those assless chaps. It just protects the leg and not much else. And then he's gonna have a underwear. Because Divination, unfortunately, we do need to cover this boy up. Otherwise, he's gonna get too powerful for the internet. The internet will not have him if he's not covered up. They'll fear his power. So he's gonna have a tidy whities going on. Nothing too fancy, just, you know, normal underwear. Gotta be careful too with these bulges. Hard to say how bulgy is too bulgy for the internet and the kids out there. And by kids I mean young adults who are definitely looking up for this sort of stuff. And by young adults I mean people who are just finishing their first year of college. Alright. It looks like a good enough bulge. And now, AC, you change your mind to just socks. And Kaze, Sellers and Oni, you all said sag bartender outfit. So let's give him some socks as well. Gotta cover up those feet, otherwise people are gonna start complaining. They're gonna start crying. And we don't want anyone to go and cry. Then you also said barista uniform. How do I fit that in here? And Ace says, try Poloski. What? And Ace says, I thought he was just gonna have a huge schlong. We can't do that. I can't have those. We can't have these boys with having schlongs, visible schlongs. And Divination says, I'll just have him then. And Shadow says, I'm a young adult. Ace, you're a young kid. And Cell says, young adults are horny fucks and know where to find proper Bojas plus. Oh, right you are. They can find these Bojas just by asking their college colleagues and asking them to show off their Bojas. So I guess he could be wearing his barista uniform, but because he's walking in such a weird manner, kinda got swept away to the side. Just pretend that he's not like walking straight ahead. With every step he kinda twists his hips, like he does a 180 with his hips, kind of swaying wildly to one side and then to the other. So in one of those wild twists that he did, his barista uniform kinda swayed so hard to the side that it got trapped on top of his tail. So that's how it goes, I believe. How it would go, rather. So all those chest pockets they would have in their barista outfits, they're kinda falling to the side here. And you guys didn't say anything else, did you? The only things you guys said were tracksuit, underwear, bartender outfit, and that's it. And socks. And Divination asks why should we cover him up. So because of that, I turned the pants of the Adidas tracksuit into chaps instead. Okay, so I guess we were able to get everyone's wishes going on in here. So we have this character that probably caters to everyone around here. Everyone got a little bit of their wishes granted with this big boy over here. I would say. And then just because we're gonna go get a new layer, really quickly just throw in a little bit of color. Because everyone likes color, doesn't they? Don't they? That's the most proper way to say the sentence that I tried to say and failed hardly at. Alright. So this is not gonna be an Adidas tracksuit, unless we have 3 straps going on the sides. Oh, there we go. I have a couple. No, I have the last one. Then his barista outfit, because they probably are gonna be handling coffee and stuff. I'd imagine that this, what's it called again? This apron is darker colored, because that makes sense somehow.